Hey guys, here's a quick video taking us through the types of agreements that we have in employee relations. How we're going to go through this is we're going to go through each particular type of agreement, what it is, whom does it cover, and then some examples. All right, so at the base level, I'm loving triangles in this particular chapter. At the base level of triangle, we have what is the National Employment Standards, or the NES, as we call them. And this is the base level of pay and working conditions that all or most employees should expect in the workplace. So whom does it cover? All permanent and fixed term employees. But as you know, we don't use absolutes in business management because there are some casual employees that this covers as well. The kinds of things that are in here are minimum break times, annual leave, maternity leave, and those kind of general working conditions. Examples, it's just most occupations. And the reason that when we look at that triangle, it's the widest chunk of the triangle is it covers the most people. And in this case, it's most employees. Then we go up the pyramid. And the next one is the modern award. The modern award, the easiest way to explain what a modern award is to show whom does it cover, and it's employees within one particular industry. So obviously one industry is much smaller than the large majority of Australians, hence why the wedge is smaller. And some examples of modern awards would be a carpentry award, a hospitality award, and a nurses award. And you'll see in most occupations that are still covered by an award are usually those occupations where lots and lots of people do pretty much the same job. So when we look at hospitality, for example, and within that award you might have 20 different occupations, but most people who are going to be a waiter are doing pretty much the same work and then so should be getting pretty much the same pay and working conditions. Then we move up the pyramid and we've got collective agreement. Now, collective agreement is different as it only covers, it covers less than an entire industry, but more than one worker. And how we generally refer to these guys is a group of workers. Some examples, airline pilots, McDonald's employees, or the sales team that work for Coca-Cola. Now, you might have a look at that and say, well, McDonald's, people that work for McDonald's do lots of different things. You might be serving out the front, you might be a manager, you might be working in the head office department, and that's true. So you'll see as we're going up the pyramid, the level of specialization within those jobs gets more and more specialized. However, it still is a group of employees. Now you'll notice that McDonald's is there for an example of collective agreement, but so is hospitality. Now, the only reason that a group of employees can move from a modern award up to a collective agreement is if the details of that collective agreement mean they are better off overall, or they are not disadvantaged. So sometimes this is called the no disadvantage test. So McDonald's employees, for example, might get slightly below the award rate of pay, but they might be compensated for that in other benefits such as more annual leave or the like. Who determines whether or not that's fair? And that's Fair Work Australia. So every single type of agreement needs to go to Fair Work Australia to be ratified, to be signed off, to say that's fair. And then we go to our next level of the pyramid, which is an individual contract. And as the name suggests, it's for one employee. And as I was saying, as we're going up the pyramids, these jobs are getting more and more specialized. And these individual contracts are for employees who are doing a very specialized job that not many others would be doing. For example, when I was a brand manager, I was on an individual contract because the work that I did was different to every other employee that worked for the organization. So if the work that you're doing is different to everyone else, then your pay and working conditions should be as well. Some other examples, a scientist, which will have a very, very high level of specialization, or a CEO, who will have a very specific job to do for their particular employer. So I hope that helps. If there's any questions whatsoever, please come and see me in class. Otherwise, I hope this helped clear up some of the differences between the types of agreements.